Hey, what is up everybody? My name is Rahul and in today's video write-up we shall be looking at some of the challenges in the Gun CTF challenge. So let's begin. The first one is rules check. So what we had to do is we had to go to the Discord server and check the flag in the instructions. So I have it over here. This is the first flag for the challenge. Now let's check the second one. The name of the challenge is a really strange algorithm which is for 50 points. Now what do all these letters mean? Let's duplicate it into our directory. Okay, so there we have it, really strange algorithm. If we look at the contents, there are a bunch of variables p, q, n, e, and c. This is an example of RSA. So what I'll be doing is I'll be solving it with Python. Let me open up my Sublime Text, and this is it. So let's make a Python script to solve it. Really.py. Let's first write a shebang line. User win Python. If you haven't solved RSA before, so I'll be explaining it to you over here. So while solving RSA, there are a few things to look at. The first is the message, which is actually to be encrypted. Second are prime numbers, which are basically P and Q. So as you can see, there are two prime numbers over here, P and Q. So these prime numbers are chosen in such a way that they are hard to brute force. But if they are quite easy to brute force, then RSA can easily be broken. So with the help of these two numbers, we find n. N is P multiplied by Q. And then we find phi. Phi is P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Now we find E. So E and phi together make up the public key. So RSA is a public key cryptography. So there are two keys, a public key and a private key associated with each ciphertext. So E is chosen such that E is co-prime with phi. We don't have to worry about it. Generally the value of E is 65,537, but it can be different as well. Now with the help of E and phi, we encrypt the message to convert it into ciphertext. So ciphertext is equal to message raised to the power E mod n. Now to decrypt the message, we need a corresponding private key to the public key. Which is the public key? The public key are the E and phi make up the public key. So to make a private key, we need to have D is equal to the inverse of E and mod phi. So now with the help of D, we can decrypt the ciphertext. So the process is message is equal to cipher raised to the power of D mod n. So that now we know how RSA works, we can actually go ahead and solve it. So I'll be using crypto library. So from crypto.util.numbers import inverse, as we know that we'll have to use inverse. Now we'll have to calculate phi first, which is P minus 1 Q minus 1. Now we have been provided with the ciphertext E and we have calculated the value of phi. So next we'll have to calculate D. So we can calculate D with the help of inverse E comma phi, print D. Okay, so I think I wrote the wrong name. It should be small n number. So there we have it. This is the value of D. So now with that, let's decrypt our ciphertext. So message is going to be power of ciphertext comma D comma mod n. So let's print the message. There we have it. This is the message, but to decrypt it, we'll have to convert it to hex first. Print hex of the message. Now this is the hex of the message. Now we'll have to remove this part and the L part. So we'll be doing 2 minus 1 and decode hex. And this is the flag for the challenge. Now let's solve the third one. which is basis. So let's start off with a basic challenge. It says let's copy the link and duplicate it. Now that we have it, let's open it up in Sublime Text. There we have it. These are a few ASCII characters, as you can see. And let's make up a Python script for it. Let's keep it basis.py, and let's write our shebang line first. Now let's make a list out of it. So assign it to b is equal to this list. So now we'll be putting commas in place of every space. So what we can do is, in Sublime Text we can press Ctrl H, and instead of every space we can replace it by commas. So let's click replace all. Now you can see every space has been replaced with a comma. Let's remove this part. So let's keep a variable string for I in B. String is equal to string plus chr, which will actually convert the corresponding ASCII value to its equivalent character value I. Let's print string. So now you can see that the value that we get looks similar to a hex value. So how do we recognize it? This is just an assumption, but you can see that the values start from 1 to 9. Where is the 9? I saw it over here. Yeah, this is 9. And from A to E. Now hex values start from A 1 to 9 and A to F. So this is a safe guess that this could be hex. So let's decode it. Now as you can see, this is the value that we get, which says that it was actually a hex value. Now the only option that we are left with is basis. So to brute force basis, we'll be using an online utility called CrackStation. Sorry, it is called CyberSafe. We could have even used Python, but CyberSafe makes it easy as there are a lot of bases present over here to brute force. First, let's try with base 32. It doesn't work. Let's try with 58. Again, it does not work. Let's try it with 64, and there it is. This is the flag for the challenge. Now that we are done with it, let's try default dilemma. Let's open it up in new tab. Now, while solving the challenge, I looked for the flag everywhere. I tried to download something, but as you can see, it did nothing. I tried to open a few photographs, but it was generally a photograph followed by some text. So I went for the source code. I tried to look for gun hacks, but there was nothing like it. But reading the source code carefully led me to this. So its color was set to white, RGB 252 or something like that. So it wasn't visible on the web page. But if you actually Control A, you'll be able to see it. It says that IO my slime. If you see this, go to flag.html. So let's try flag.html, and there it is, the flag for the challenge. Now intro to Netcat. Some of the challenges in the CTF will require you to connect a server via Netcat. Connect to shell.ctf.connex.com at the port number that is 45,752. So let's go to our terminal. Let's go to our terminal. NC followed by the name of the port, which is 45,752. Sorry about that. 45,752. And I thought we'll have to solve a challenge, but it eventually threw us the flag right away. So this is the flag for the challenge. Now let's try another RSA. It says let's start off with the most significant RSA attack, straightforward RSA attack. Try decrypting this message. Here's the code used to generate the encryption. So let's duplicate it as usual. Let's duplicate the script as well. So now that we have both of them, no, I don't think it downloaded it. Let's copy link location wget. It did not work. It did work. Okay, so there it is. So let's look at the script first. So this is a simple RSS script. As you can see, this is the message M. These are the prime numbers P and Q, the value of E. So let's look at the ciphertext. Let's nano reasonably attack.txt. So this is it. So but this time we have not been provided with P and Q. So my guess is that we'll have to brute force it, but there is an alternative to it. So I'll be showing it to you right now. So let's open it up. So this is it. So let's save it. Let's save it with reasonably okay simple attack.py. So let's write the shebang line first. Now the problem with this is that we don't have P and Q, so we'll not be able to find the value of phi, which is P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So we'll have to brute force it, but luckily there is an online utility called FactorDB which can actually help us brute force the numbers. So let's go to factordb.com. Let's slap in the number and there it is. All you have to do is put the prime number into the search box and it'll throw you out with the numbers if it actually has in its database. So let's put the value of P. It is this. Let's find the value. Okay, now we'll have to find the value of Q. So this is the value of Q. Now that we have both the values, you can calculate the value of phi. Now with the help of E and phi, we can calculate D, which is the private key. E comma phi, as we know that the value of D is E inverse mod phi. So now that we have D, we can use the ciphertext and the value of D to get our original message back, is equal to now let me first tell you that message is equal to C to the power of D mod N. So we can use power. So POW C the ciphertext, D and mod N. Now let's print it out. Okay, now sorry, I did not import crypto.util.numbers okay, from import inverse. Let's view it. Okay, now that we have the message, let's print the hex of the message. Now that we have the hex, we'll have to remove 0x and the last L. So we can use 2:-1 and decode hex. So there we have it, the flag for the challenge. Now that we are done with this, I'll be showing it to you one more. So this is a classic example of how PHP is a vulnerable language. So not brute force. Open it up in new tab. So it is expecting a get parameter which is password. It has a hash which is already given to us. There's a comment that you'll never be able to crack my password. So if the password is not present, it will be showing us the index.php page, which is this page. But if the password is present, it will actually calculate the MD5 hash of the password, which we supply it, and then it will compare it against the hash which is saved in the database. which is this. And if they both match, it will throw us with flag.txt. So I thought, why worry so much? Let's just write flag.txt in the URL, and it does not throw us the flag. Let's try flag.txt. Again, nothing. So at this point of time, there is one other thing that we can try. It is, we'll have to try an online utility like CrackStation to crack the password. So I copied the password, and let's open CrackStation. And there you see that this was not found, so they do not have it in their database. So there is one more thing that we can do is, if you do not know, PHP is vulnerable to type juggling attack. It is also called loose comparison attack. So what happens is, if you are trying to compare A equal to A, so it will throw true. If you are trying to compare 0 with apple, it should throw you a false. But what happens is, it tries to convert this apple into an integer value, and it then checks that if there's a 0 in it, and if there is a 0, it will throw true, and eventually the answer to this is true. If you say 2 apples equal to 2, what it will do is, it will convert this into integer. So it will compare this 2 against this 2 and forget the rest of it, and it will throw you a true. So this is an example of type juggling attack or loose comparison attacks. So if I find a string whose hash value begins with 0a, I'll be able to bypass it. So what I did was, I looked up MD5 hash beginning with 0e. I opened up the link, second link. So there it is. Let's copy this one and let's slab it over here. So there it is. This is the flag for the challenge. So thank you guys. This is it for the video. If you like my video, please press that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.